I think it's funny when you add a little bit of money to a sport and you give some girls attention, what they can do with it. I think everyone should take a page out of our book and really put some more time and effort into women's everything.
Welcome to Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. We're talking women's hockey from the PWHL to the NCAA. We'll be talking with players, builders, coaches, and fans who have made this great game what it is today. It's time to educate, empower, and elevate. Let's go!
Welcome back to Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. It's your boy Brownie. No Linda today, but I am joined. This is someone, when I heard her story the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, we got to get her on the pod. And then I creeped up to her at the Holy Cross game and introduced myself. And she agreed under pressure, but now she's here. And I just want to introduce sophomore from Avon, Connecticut, one of the newer Huskies, Brigitte Aube. Bridge, how are you doing today?
So good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thanks for doing this. Like I said, I didn't really, all joke aside, I didn't want this out there. I didn't really creep up to her. I made sure it was cool with Delaney and just walked over to introduce myself. But your story, I want to get into your story because it's fantastic. And like I told you when I met you, it's like a Disney story come to life. And now in like talking to other people in and around the program, the timing of this is like a nuclear launch, like the way everything worked out. It's crazy, but we'll get to that. Avon, Connecticut, are you Yankees or Red Sox fan?
Red Sox.
Okay. Bruins or Rangers?
Bruins.
Okay, just making sure. Just want to get that out of the way. Oh, and then the other thing, how close are you to Ryan's Deli?
Oh, I've never been there.
You never been there? Oh, I was hoping your parents were going to come up for games and I could ask them to bring me pickles. You got to check it out next time you're home.
I will.
Really good. And also, did you know you share a name with a French actress from like the 60s?
I don't. I think I've heard of this, but I have no idea who she is.
Yeah, I couldn't find a whole lot about her. She passed away. Very, very attractive woman. You should look her up. And I didn't know if it was like a family name and they named her after you or something like that. Yeah. All right. To hockey. We got all that, all my nonsense out of the way. Who got you started in hockey?
Oh, my dad. My dad played all throughout his life. His dad and his mom both grew up in Quebec. So they're very hockey oriented. My dad played at Brown.
I had that in my notes. Want to give him some shine.
Yeah. He went to Salisbury School. So.
Oh, okay.
He's been around hockey forever. He got my brothers into it. My brothers made me love it. And it was just kind of like that. We've played every day of our lives since I can remember. But I just fell in love with it since the very beginning.
Do you remember how old you were when you got you on skates?
Oh God, I had to be like 3 or 4. As soon as I possibly could be on them, I was on them.
That's the best.
Yeah.
When you were young, were you other sports too, or were you strictly hockey?
No, my mom was big about I want a well-rounded kid. So I was just like, as much as I wanted to just be on skates, she was like, you got to do everything. So I had lacrosse. I did that pretty much until 7th grade. I did that. She had me in dance for a little bit. Didn't love that. Yeah. Didn't love that. But I think soccer, I tried that. It's nothing really stuck with that.
I will say the more I talk to athletes, the better I think it's when you're playing all these other sports. You could be like the big stud hockey player, but then you try like lacrosse and you stink. So it gives you a little bit of an insight to, how to be a good teammate as well, and how to contribute.
100%.
Yeah, it's a common thing. Was there someone like local college, your brothers maybe, that you kind of looked up to, that you patterned your play after?
I would say my brothers, honestly, and I think we all together collectively watched countless hours of hockey. Johnny Gaudreau was my idol. I could not describe how much I love Johnny Gaudreau. TJ Oshie, we watched so much hockey, and it was insane. But I think honestly, my brothers, I love the way that they played, just super confident, just they were only a couple years older than me, but just the way that they played, they're just confidence with the puck. We all started out as forwards, then they moved to defense later on. But I just like I loved watching them play and just like scoring goals. I was like, oh my god, that must be an electric feeling. I was like, I want that. Like I just being older brothers to a younger sister, like you can't really describe that. It's I wanted to be exactly just like that. I was like trying to like do everything just like them. My mom was like, all right, like you guys are.
No, that's great. That's great. I don't know if you saw. Did you see the Gaudreau family sent a nice letter to the U.S. Olympic team?
Oh no, I didn't. But they just did so much great stuff to honor him. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really nice. Okay, so Loomis Chaffee School. This is where everything kind of your story begins, right?
Yeah.
4 years that you were there, but you only played in 2 games, 3 surgeries, and 4 years of rehab due to complications from a torn ACL. I personally have 2 torn ACLs right now, and I still play. You saw Lindsey Vonn tried to give it a go. I was joking on one of the podcasts. I said that she, like, representation matters. Lindsey Vonn's out there doing it for the torn ACL community. Everybody looks up to her. So you tore your ACL, and then, talk about as much as you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Any complications from that, rehab, setback, that kind of thing?
Yeah. I tore my ACL end of my 8th grade year going into high school. So I was committed to Loomis. Coach Lyden and I have known her for I don't know how long. She started watching me when I was in like 6th grade. And I was like, all right, like I know I want to go here. I was so excited to go to Loomis. Like it's exactly what I wanted. Like school was awesome, hockey was awesome. I was like, I'm just so excited. And then this happens. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And I was just like on the ground. I was like, oh, what about hockey? Like, what about everything? I was like, because I just knew it was bad when it happened. I heard it. It was like a pop, and I was like, you know what? Like, and I was young. Like ACL surgeries, I knew people that had them. I was like the first person like in my age group to really have like an ACL injury. I was like,
that is young. Yeah.
8th grade. I was like, I don't know. I forgot how old I was then, but maybe like 15 or so. Like
15,
14, 15. And that's young. Like I was like, a lot of the people I knew that had ACLs were college soccer athletes. Like, it was weird for hockey players as well. Like it's super rare in hockey. And yeah, I had that and they told me it was an ACL. I was like, oh my God, like what, like 2 months? And they're like, no, actually it's a year.
Yeah.
It's a year for these kind of things. So I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I had it over the summer. I got my surgery over the summer and I was rehabbing and I was going into Loomis now with a torn ACL and I was just like, great way to start the dream career I want,
Right.
And I thank God every day for Coach Lyden, like taking a chance on me and still giving me a shot when, like I wasn't able to contribute to her like I thought I was going to. And for the rest of my time, I had these complications. Like I had a screw that didn't dissolve and it came popping out, and in that it was it messed up other ligaments and all these other things. And every time I dominated my recovery. I was like, you know what? Like I'm going to make it my sport to do the recovery right. My physical therapists were like, my coaches, like I made it like a thing. I was there every day, like doing like 8 sessions a day. Like, I mean, it took up my life, like this recovery. And I was like, I'm doing this right. Like this will not be an issue. Like I will not let this, impact what I want. Like I'm not gonna let it win. And I did that to the nth degree. And at school I had physical therapists to help me too, and I was just like, doing everything I could. And every time I got back, I was like, all right, like, and I got like, like I was ready to go. I was like, I had a couple practices under my belt, and then something else happened. So this happened 3 times, and it was the all through high school. So I missed every season. It was always every season. I would have these awesome summers, and I'm like, I'm ready to go for the season. And I'm like, all right, like I have coaches that see me, whatever, like this is great. I was able to do showcases and all those things. And I would get to the season and then boom. And I was like, all right, like I'm missing those things. So I had to, I had 4 years at Loomis, living the dream of playing for that team. But I was, playing coach, and it was just different. I was like, I want to be an impact player on the ice like I thought I was going to be. And, it was a lot of a different experience. But, I'm still grateful for those experiences. I learned a lot about just the game, watching it so much. I think that I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now without the IQ that I developed in those moments. And even though I wasn't playing and doing what I wanted to do, was the recovery would taught me a lot about mental toughness and adversity, and I learned so much about adversity. Just like the art of not giving up. I think that was a big thing. Just like you got these roadblocks. Like, what are you gonna do with it? You could sit around and mope about it and be like, wasn't for me, I guess. Like, this is a sign. Like, maybe it's no. Like, there's no such thing as that. If you really want it, like, there's no such thing as a, like, it's not worth it. Like, it was so worth it to me. I couldn't even describe it to you. I'm like, there's nothing that's gonna tick my clock like this, and if it means that much to you, you know what? Like, and my coaches saw that. I was on the bench playing coach. I had the clipboard. I was like, I was, I had that experience, and I was having fun with it too. Like, I was just like, enjoy this. Like, this was your dream, and you're not doing what you thought you were gonna do, but like, you still got time after this too. And I just hadn't given up on the college thing either. So I was just like, it was in the back of my mind, like, this is all gonna work out to something. It's gonna amount to something, and it did. Like, it was. I learned a lot about just recovering, and I was able to do it 4 times. I mean, it's not easy to do. I was able to make an ACL level recovery 4 times. Like, not a lot of kids can do that, and a lot of the my teen parents were like, all right, so like, what's going on? Like, you gonna quit at this point? And I'm like, no. Every time they ask me that, they're like, like, you're gonna want these knees later in life. No, I'm like, nope.
Another fuel to fire when they ask you for quit.
Hockey's the thing, it's just like. That's what it is. So a lot of them were surprised every time I came back, but I made sure that I couldn't imagine any other way than going through the recovery that I did the way I did it. But
I will say, like, we were talking about the youth sports, how you find your role, and you did it in high school. You found your role. I've always said, like, everybody coaches at the wrong time. It's always guys or men and women that are at the end of their career. But it makes you a better player once you can coach and get that bird's eye view of everything. It's unbelievable how much I learned that when I was coaching, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I had coached before, and had a little, it's crazy. And the other thing, what's that?
See the game a lot differently.
Yeah. The other thing that I clued into when you were talking, because we've talked a bit, and you're very nice and charming, but when you were talking about your rehab, I don't know. It's like something like your not your personality, just the way you present yourself kind of changed, and you were like locked in talking about it, and I could see the drive like that you had to go through that. And this is something that I've talked to Coach Karp and Coach Berm, and they both have been like, she's dialed at practice. We're telling her to smile, have some fun, and I can see that when you talking about your rehab. It's like you clicked a mental switch. Yeah, good on you. No, it's cool. Yeah.
You have to. I mean, especially with ACLs, like anyone that will go through, like Lindsey Vonn, God bless her. Like, I know, and I like a lot of people. Like, even when you were talking about that, like the way that people were like, I cannot believe she went back to that. Like, why would she do that to herself? Like, you guys don't get it. Like, when you have that chance to like live out a moment like that, you would do anything. Like,
why wouldn't you?
Like, and even she knew, like, she's like, you know what, like, will she have the best race of her life? Absolutely not. Like, without an ACL, like, come on, she's skiing. But like the fact that like you would do anything for that moment because you love it so much, and you're not gonna let the injury take away that opportunity from you, that's where it comes in. Like, and that's exactly what I felt. I was just like, you know what, like, I will not let this injury take away my dream of opportunity like that. Like, and people don't get it. Like, it's especially for ACLs, like, it's such a long, it's mentally taxing. It's just like, I think it's one of the worst recoveries you could possibly go through in terms of like joint related or knee related, whatever it is, issues. Like, it's one of the worst, and it's just, it takes forever, and it's just super painful and a lot of other things. So if you're going to go through that, I'm like, I'm going to make it a hell of worth it, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can. Like, if I'm able to get out of it and come out of it the right way, I'm going to do everything I possibly can with that. So
Yeah,
I get
it's
her
funny
for
that you talk about Lindsey Vonn. Her sister posted something like, "My sister's competing in the Olympics, and I had to take a break for packing," or something like that. I forget what she said.
yeah,
That was funny. Yeah, hey, Lindsey Vonn. I mean, I guess you look at it as why wouldn't you do it, as opposed to why is she doing it, and it's
exactly.
the pressures of privilege kind of mentality. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, good on her. Good on you too. So how did you end up at Northeastern? Were you talking to a bunch of schools, or did you always know Northeastern? Was the co-op the big draw, or
Yeah.
because I'm assuming hockey is kind of a secondary thing at this point, right?
Yeah, so I talked to my coach, and bless her, she was trying to, like give me like the answer that I wanted, but the realistic answer too. And I
Yeah.
talked to a lot of coaches about it. My club coach too, Coach Bill, like he's the best guy out there. And I was like, you know what, like guys, I have this dream. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm like, I haven't played 4 years. I have absolutely no film on me. Like, what can I do? Like, who can I talk to? Like, who can I just tell them? Like, I just love this game. Like, please let me I will just. I'm so obsessed with it that I will make your program better just by like loving it. Like, is that an answer? And do any college want that? And they're like, you know what, like you're gonna have to like, let's be realistic. I'm like, okay, so like, what are you saying? And they're just like, you know what, like you don't have film, you haven't played in 4 years, and like I'm just being realistic. Like schools are looking for impact players, like in the moment, like they're not looking for, like could she be something, and like they can't take those kind of chances. So I was just like, all right, like, and I would say I'm very also dialed into the schoolwork. I'm a bioengineer, biochemistry major. I don't know if
Oh,
you
we were
should.
going to get to that. You really chose the easy path with your classwork. Yeah,
So
continue.
like,
We'll get to that.
so I do take my academics very seriously, and I also want to make sure that I was, going to a school that would do me well in that regard as well. And and they told me, they were like, you know what, like you have this drive and this itch and this love for the game that like not a lot of kids have, and we don't really see that often. And you know what, like I have no doubt that wherever you go, you will just try to play. So my thing would be like get into the best school you can academically, like because the coaches weren't on. I wasn't on the radar at all. Like it's
Right.
and it was impossible to be. I hadn't played, and they had no idea who I was. So I was like, I emailed God knows how many people, but like what can you do? Like you can put in a word for a good kid, but it can only go so far. It's just. So I was just like, they were just like, you know what, like get into a school on your own, like with your grades, they were great, like do what you can there, and like, and we'll try to put in something to a coach if we'll try your best, and when you're there, try to make something happen, and that was kind of what I took with me as like a driving force. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get into the school, I'm gonna kill my schoolwork, I'm gonna get into the school myself, and I'll make it happen from there. Like just get me in, you know what I mean? Like I can do that. I can
That's
get myself.
something I want to point out too. While you were going through rehab, while you were being a coach on the bench at Loomis, your grades were still top notch. You still did not mess around. So
No,
I don't want that to get whitewashed because it's student athlete, right? That's the whole
right,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, and that was
You
important to
kept
me.
that part going straight too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to
No,
point that out.
absolutely no. And that was also a very big thing because a lot of kids during recovery, like you can get really discouraged, and those grades can slip, and it happens to a lot of people. And that was a big thing. I was like, you know what, like, nope. You can only have so many things going wrong right now, and you got to keep the things you can keep going right. You got to keep those right. So I was like, that was a big thing. I was like, you know what, like, you want this to happen, like, you got to keep that up too, because that was important. Like, I had no other ways to get in besides myself. Like, no one was gonna help me. Like, I had to get in myself. So, I wanted a good academic school. Northeastern was great for engineering. Had a great engineering program. And the co-ops were really cool. I liked the idea of that. Like it's very unique to have an experience like that at co-op, of being able to try out a job before you go into the workforce. A lot of people realize they don't like the job after the degree, and it's late. It's late to figure that out. So I was like, you know what, like it would be cool to be able to kind of try it out, see if I like it, and if I want to change a major, still be in college, so I have to go back after and redo my all the money that I spent trying to get it. So that was a really cool idea. So I love the city of Boston. I think Boston's awesome. It's such a hockey city. Like I told my parents that this is a city of hockey. Like it's just the or even the city of sports. Like it's just such a like a sports centric area, and that's all I wanted. I was like, I just want to be able to like, go and like feel the love of sports everywhere I go. And it was such Boston is such a great city for that. So I was just like, it felt like the best of all worlds. And we have a campus, which is really cool. So I was just like, you know what, like it feels great. So that was like my goal. I told my advisor that, and she's like, all right, like let's do it. So I got in here, which was awesome. So I was just like, you know what, like, but also in the back of my, that's why I told my parents. I was like, you know what, like your academic school, let's go, like great city of Boston. In the back of my head, I was like, I want to play for Northeastern. Like I've always had, what, it was always a dream. The dream was always to play for Northeastern. But I didn't tell my parents that because they were like, you are not going to college with the only goal of hockey. Like that's not happening. Like you're going for school, and if hockey happens, great, and if it doesn't, great. But they're like, you're going for academics. So I'm like, all right, like great, it sounds good. But in my back of my head, I was like, I want to wear a Husky on my shirt. Like I want it so bad. Like I had watched all those girls for I don't know how long, and Hockey East was my dream. I loved Hockey East. Like, and this was just what I wanted. Like and if I could have possibly imagined to be committed to any school in my wildest dreams in high school, it would have been here. So I was just like, you know what, like. Go to that school for yourself, get in there, and then try to make it happen. That was my goal. So I was like, you know what, like this is the dream school. I'm gonna get in here on my own. So I got in there. And I was just like, all right, like sounds good. And my dad was like, all right, like they have a great club program. Like that's awesome. And I was like, yeah, like it is. Yeah, and it's so because I was just like,
through every phase, there's someone trying to put the brakes on you, and you're like,
no,
yeah,
and there's just if you know me, you like, and any of the people that know me will know, like I have a strong level of delusion, like very strong.
That's called confidence, buddy. That's not delusion.
No, but it is a little delusion, but and it carries me through. Like I have these very, very big dreams, and you know what, like, and that's just who I am. But and they were trying to be realistic. They were just trying to like not let me be like super discouraged by the fact that like my parents were like, she's not gonna play at Northeastern, like, but this is going to be a good school for her to go to. I'm proud of her because she didn't, go somewhere where she wasn't going to excel academically and make that a priority. So they were really proud of me, and, and I was just like, you know what, but they knew where my head was at, truly, but they were just, trying to make it as good as they could for me, as in, like, they were really upset that I had to, kind of give up this dream, but they were like, you know what, like, club will be great, and I just didn't know what to expect from club in college, because I heard these things. I was like, and not only is it club in college, but it's also, women's hockey. And I didn't know kind of what if they were supported, in any regard. Like I wasn't sure, the level of that. And I hadn't really heard of it. My brother was playing club, had played club, and it was a very lax situation, and it was like a fun thing for kids to do on the weekends, and my mentality at all was not that. And I was just like, my mentality for hockey will not fit with that kind of mentality. Like it's not at all. Like I'm not okay with losing games. I'm not okay with I'm just that's not where I'm at. And I was like, it's gonna be hard for me to be around people that think of like Sunday skating as like a like that kind of thing.
Bloody Marys, and then we go for hockey, right?
Exactly. I was 100%. They were like, the whole like. I heard this thing my brother said. It was like win or lose, we booze or something. I was like,
I can't tell you how many guys I play with that have said that exact same thing.
And I was just like, and I could not imagine a phrase that less encompasses everything I believe in that. So I was just like, you know what, like I really don't know how this is gonna work. And so I went there, and I was just like, I saw Matthews Arena, and I was just like, I could not describe to you how much that rang to me. And I was just like, you know what, like I get to play here, like you gotta be kidding me, like club plays here. So that was just like, that was awesome. And I met the girls.
Did you have that moment like you walked in and it was like the light hits you like, oh, like you're in church kind of thing?
I think my parents thought I like was in heaven. Like honestly, like they were just like, they were so I the first thing I did when I found out my dorm was when I got into Northeastern was I went on Google Maps and I thought, how long is the walk from my dorm to Matthews? That was the only thing I looked up. That was the first thing I did when I figured out my dorm.
I can't tell you how many. There's so many players that I've talked to that came for their visit to North. Like Skylar Irving pops into my mind. Yeah. She told me like when she walked into Matthews, she's like, "Oh, I'm coming here." Yeah. And I have pictures of my daughter like We were at the last game. We got on the ice and everything. I have pictures of my daughter hugging the curve of the brick when we were at the entrance, like saying goodbye. It's crazy, that building, the pull it has on people.
The signature wall got me. I was
Yeah.
like, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I was like, my dad told me, he's like, like Northeastern plays at like the old Boston Garden. He's like, it's awesome. And I was like, yeah, like I had seen it a million times. I watched so many Northeastern games like before I came here, just watching the girls. And I saw all those girls play. Like I saw like like Alina Mueller, all those guys. And I had seen that and I was just like, like
now you're one of them, buddy.
Fucking dream. That's it. Like that's the dream. And I was just like, now I'm playing in the same ice as Alina Mueller. You gotta be kidding me. So I was like, I had no idea club was able to do that because a lot of schools don't let their club team play on their. So I was super lucky that we got to, and I met, the first thing that I did when I got to school was like, like, I did send an email. The first thing I did is when I went to school, and I sent an email to all the coaches, and I was just like, I'm gonna send that and just let it go and see if anything comes back. I was just like, paper airplane.
Can you talk about the email or not? You don't have to go word for word, but just kind of the gist of what you said.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that wasn't the email that worked. That was
I know. This is your freshman year. I know.
Yeah, so I was just like, like, I think it was a very desperate email. If I think Coach Karp goes into the back of his email, I think he can see it. So hopefully he doesn't do that. Let's not tell him that it's there. There were a lot of them in there, I think. But it was more of just like I think the subject was like freshman club hockey player, possible walk-on tryout, or something like that. Yeah. And I think the gist was like, I'm from Loomis JV, and we did have a girl from Loomis on the team, Taylor.
Yeah.
And so, yes, and she was so awesome. And I knew that she was here, and I was like, it was so cool to see pictures of her in that jersey. I was like, oh, that was so cool to wear that.
Now, you knew her in high school also, right?
Yes, and I played with her for a year. She was a senior and I was a freshman, so I knew her. And it was during a COVID year, so we didn't get to play too much together. But I knew that she was here and she was like having so much fun, and I loved seeing pictures of her and everything. And so I knew that was good. But I was like, hey, like like my name's Brigitte. Like you have no idea who I am. There's no film on me I can send to you, but I have these references of coaches that have believed in me in the past, and like I live this game. I love it more than anything. It's all I think about. I said verbatim, I eat, sleep, and breathe hockey. That's what I said. And that, I also said that in the one that works. So I guess that says something.
Oh, it's great, dude.
But I like, if I can't describe to you how much I love it and how much my love will bring it to any team that I have, and hopefully, inspire people. Just like I want to be a spark on the ice. Like I just want to raise the compete level. Like I will do anything I can just to, like make it like if anyone's flat, I'm gonna pick it up. Like you know what I mean? Like that. Like I want to be a spark, and I will do that in practice. I will do that, as a whatever. Like I don't even need a jersey. Like you give me like. I will just really want to learn from these girls and be in an environment where everyone loves it as much as I do. Like, and that was that team. Like, I knew how much people Northeastern pride was just different. And I knew that. And I was just like, these girls love this team and I love this team. Like, I will have so much pride in wearing this jersey. And, like, that's all I care about. Like, I really will make it just, like, take this and run with it. Like, and can I do that for you? Like, I promise you, like you give me this chance and like I will run with it. You know what I mean? So that was kind of the gist of what I said, and I said it I think in a million different ways, but I was just like, this kid really loves hockey and I really love to be a part of your program. Like that's kind of what I said. And this program has so much honor to it as well. Just like the way it's run, like the team, the coaches, like there's just so much to be proud of with this team, and like how could you not want to be a part of that? So it's just like like if you got an opportunity like that, and so I said that, and the next day I signed up on the Google form for club. I got an automated response back and was like, "We'd love to have you." Like, come to practice.
Year, right?
Yes.
Freshman year,
The first week I got there, we got to practice back there. Like, okay, like we practice at 9:30 p.m. to 11:30 at Matthews. Like, come join us. So I was like, all right, like let's do it. So I brought my bag and I put it in the trailer outside of Matthews Arena, and I was like, all right. So we started, and I saw the girls. They're nicest girls I think I've ever seen. And I was like, you know what, like this. And I just got there. I had no friends. Like, I knew no one. And I did actually. When I came here, I didn't know anyone that was coming here. So I was like random roommate, and they gave me a single. So I didn't even have a roommate.
Oh my gosh.
So I really had no idea who anyone was. I was walking around campus just like blinders on. And I went there and I was like, oh my God, like this is awesome. And some of those girls had played prep school too, so like I knew them from that. And I didn't know any of the girls personally, but I just knew their backgrounds and everything. So and I went on the ice and I was like, this is awesome. And it was like a captain's practice. Our captain, Abby, was just such an awesome girl, like just super cool to learn from. She was an engineer too. I was like, oh wow, like that's it's awesome. And they just had so much fun out there, and I was just like, all right, this is great. Like
community.
Yeah, exactly. It was just hockey. I think that was the end of it. I was just like, I'm playing on ice. Like it's in college. Like it's that's what I want. Like I want to have my skates on. So it was an opportunity to do that, and I was like, you know what, like it's just great to get back under me. And I was like, they had games lined up, but it was all self-run. I was like, this is awesome that you guys are running something like this, out of your own. Like no one was helping you do that. Like there's no one scheduling these games for them. Like they're all doing it themselves. And the money too. Like they had treasurers and secretaries. It was a real club, and I was just like, you know what, this is awesome, and you guys are making this happen. And it was obviously a little bit of a shock coming from like where I had come from in high school. Just a different how we were running it. Like we had volunteer coaches, which is different. And it was, but the coaches were so awesome too, and they were people that want to be there at 9:30 at night. Like it says something about someone, you know what I mean? They did really enjoy like playing hockey, and that was all I could ask for. And out of a club program, I had no idea what to expect, and this was the best possible scenario I could think of for what I was doing, So I was extremely grateful for that. And as I went through the club season, I had so much fun playing with these guys and just being on the ice and playing games again was just so much fun. Like I hadn't played a game in 4 years, so it was just exciting to play games and do that. And I went through freshman year, and it was exactly what I needed, And I found out all my, and it was 2 practices a week. That was a little bit of a shock to me, and I was just like, that's all we get, and they're like, that's all we get, and I'm like, open ice. They're like, not for us. I'm like, all right. And I was just like, so you guys like any like open skates? And they're like, only for D1, sorry. And I went to the rink guy at the front gate, and I was like, I'm on club. Can I possibly get on? And it was 6 a.m. And I was just like, there's no one on the ice. And he's like, you know what? Like this is reserved for open ice for the D1 team, but no one's on there, so I guess so. So for the entirety of my freshman year, I was on the ice at 6 o'clock in the morning, thanks to the rink guys.
So the way that worked, if someone had shown up from the program,
I wouldn't have been able to go on. Yeah.
Would you have gotten booted, or would you have been allowed to stay?
Well, actually, maybe in the beginning, I got to know these rink guys really, really well. And
I heard that, yeah.
And honestly, I could not. They are some of the best people I think I've ever met. My parents know about them. Like I've introduced my parents to them. Like
it's like the Rudy story from the.
They are the nicest people I could ever possibly imagine. I think if I was a rink guy, I would be like, get the hell out of here. Like we have no idea who you are. Like get off our ice. Like I don't know what you're doing. Like what are you doing here? They are the nicest people I think I've ever met, and they have believed in me for I don't know, like since I started here. And they saw me on the ice. They were like, you're awesome. Like, why don't you try out? I'm like, apparently it's a lot harder than it looks to try to walk onto a team. And they're like, no, you can do it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you got it. Like, just walk on. Like, knock on the door. He's up there. I'm like, trust me, I want to do that. But they're like, you know what? Like, it'll happen. Don't worry about it. Like, you got it. Like, keep going out there. So every morning I was out there, and they were letting me do it. And I was like, this is awesome. So I brought the tires, and I was bringing out.
How many days a week were you out there? What'd you say?
Oh, every day they let me out there.
And you were doing drills by yourself?
Yeah, I was just running stuff. I was like, I brought out some cones and whatever, and I was just running some whatever, shooting around. I was skating myself a little bit, just whatever I could do. I only had I had like all these 8 a.m. classes, so I was like trying to get it before then. There's only one day of the week that they had men's league, so I couldn't go on. But it was like they let me go out on there, and no one came. So I was just like, until people come. And I used to like stop. I think the boys would have their like skills, and I would just stop before then. And they did the ice so to make sure that the boys had good ice. And I was like, thank you. Like, don't. They didn't want to get me in trouble. I was like, thank you. But I think, but yeah, I saw them, later that night at club, and they're just like, it was awesome. And so I asked my club captain, I was like, so like, are there any other ice times? And she's like, nope, we don't get any others. So I was like, all right, like I have to figure something out because 2 days a week is not gonna work for me. And if I'm gonna make this happen for 4 years, like, and like, kind of like get my fix, I'm like, this is not gonna do it. So I had that, and I found like a net in the back of the rink that like no one knew about. So that for like shooting pucks, like I think only the D1 kids knew about it, but I was just like, all right, like I'll use it. So I used to shoot pucks in like the back of like it's like this alley in the back.
The Zamboni down there.
Yeah. It's kind of It's like there's a door and it's like a stairway down. And there's like a door. No one knows about it. Even my brother had no idea it was there. But I was just like, all right, like I guess because people didn't think there was a place to shoot pucks. I was like, I found one, and there was like a little like ice thing, and I was like, all right. So I did that like every morning too. Whenever there was like
you and the rats shooting pucks down below.
Yeah, and I was having fun. I was like, I was there at like 5:30 in the morning, and just like shooting pucks and whatever. And at like 7 p.m. at night, like one of the rink guys came over. He's like, he's Friday night. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm having fun. He's like, all right. So I knew them all around, and I was having fun with that, and I was just skating around like no one was around. It was just like I was getting my fix in, and I was having fun with it. And the club team was so awesome. The season went great, and it was shorter than I knew it to be.
15 games.
Right, exactly. So it was just like it was a little different, and a lot of things sometimes got canceled, and we weren't able to get there, and we drove ourselves to everywhere. So there was kinks and stuff, and it was whatever. But my parents had so much fun watching me, and I thought I was making them proud. I was like, I'm wearing a Husky, like it's best we can do. It was fun in that way, but it was just like in the back of my mind, I was like, like there's still more you can get here, like. There's so more we can do. Like,
wait, before you go further, I want to circle back here. So you put up 19 points in your 15 games. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you had refs were coming to your coach and saying, like, during gameplay, like, hey, she's going to be the best player in the country. And it's like you were clearly like, one of these things is not like the other. You know what I mean? You clearly stood out, and the coaching staff of Northeastern. I haven't talked to Dave, but everyone else, and I'm sure he did too, knew who you were because like every time I come to the rink, who's this kid out there? And then they'd see you with like your Loomis jacket, and then who's this kid with the Loomis helmet skating around by herself? And so they were aware of you.
I had no idea.
No, I know. I didn't expect you to, but it's crazy. I've told this. Every time I hear something about you, I'm like, if this was a movie, you would be like, no way. Like, it's literally, it's crazier to believe than the Rudy movie, which, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. If this, I should make the movie. I don't know why I'm giving this idea away, but it should be like a ESPN, like, documentary or something, It's crazy. All right. So that was your freshman year. Now, this is when fate stuck her finger in this year. Can you tell the timeline story? And I'll interject with stuff I've heard from the coaches.
Yeah. So, I finished out the season. Freshman year was good. And I came back the next year, and we had started practice and everything. And
Did you play over the summer at all?
Oh, yeah. I think the one thing I was just like, if I can't play D1 like I thought I would, I'm going to train like I am and make myself pretend like I am. So that was kind of what I did. I mean, like I was training at my club. I played for the Fairfield Stars, and we were able to train there. And my coach is so awesome. Like he was, I was playing club. He was like letting me skate with like the college girls and everything. So, and I was just like pretending like, hey, like I'm training for something. So I trained like that all summer, just like lifting, strength, and everything, skating, conditioning, everything, just training like I was on the team. And so I came back to school ready to go, and we had one club practice under us, in September so far when I got back, and I was just like, you know what, like it's time for my annual emails. So I was in the dorm lobby and I was just like writing it up, and I sent my mom an email. I was like, hey, like, can you look at this? And she's like, we're doing this again. I was like, yeah, like if we're proofreading grammar and everything. I was like, you know what, like grammar's not gonna be the reason why this doesn't happen. So I did the same. Love hockey, love it more than anything. Please let me have a chance. Like walk on ? Like don't need a jersey, and so I sent it, and I think it was like a couple hours later. I had my
hold on. So here for the listeners. So a player had decided to leave the program, Hannah Christensen. She decided to go back to Minnesota. It wasn't for her, the East Coast. No, best of luck, right? No ill will. And your email hit the day after, the morning after. Yeah. And so there's like stroke of fate number one, right? All right, go ahead, continue. I'm just going to interject. Like I'm like the narrator,
Yeah, I mean, I sent a million of these emails before. Like this was just another email. Like I did not. This is going anywhere. But again, like, will I let this be the reason why it doesn't happen? No. I will do absolutely anything in my power to let all options be exhausted. Like no regrets. That was my thing. I have a sign on my door. No regrets. Nice. And everything on the line. So I was just like, you know what, like. Everything I can do. I sent the email, and next day I am doing my work. Text message comes in, unknown number. Hi, this is Coach Carpenito from Northeastern women's hockey. Like, are you around the rink today? I'm like, when am I not around the rink today? When can I meet you? And I the first thing I did, I was like, holy shit. I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, you would not believe just happened. Like, Coach Carp just, like, texted me. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Dad, I swear to God, like, he just texted me. He's like, all right, like, go meet him, I guess. And I was just like, Dad, like, I think I'm in trouble because I think, like, I said.
Oh, is that what you thought? You thought you were in trouble for being at the rink?
No, I thought I was in trouble because I kept sending emails, and I
okay.
I thought he was gonna be like, hey, like, I just want you to, like, not waste your time anymore, like, sending these emails. Just, like,
I didn't know that. That was your oh, my gosh.
No. I thought he was just going to be like, hey, like, we've gotten, like, a lot of emails from you. Like, I just don't want you to keep, like, wasting your time. Like, it's just, like, something that, like, really doesn't happen. And, like, we don't really do practice players. Like, I'm sorry. So I thought it was going to be something like that. And so I was like, you know what, like, whatever. Like, at least someone will tell me that. So I'll know, like, like, whatever. So I was just like, yeah, like, I'm around. He's like, yeah, we practice from, like, whatever, like 3 to 4 or something. Like, come meet me in the offices afterwards. You know where they are. I'm like, I know. I'm like, no, like, yeah, where are they? So I was there and watching them at the end of practice, and he comes up and I go and meet him, and I go into the room. So I was like, hi, Coach. Like, how are you? And he's like, good. He's like, come up and meet all of us up there. I'm like, all of us. And I go in there. Could have been from a movie. It was like a big circle table. Coach Flint is at the top of the table. Berm and Lissy and Carp, and they set me down, and Sean, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, I'm in so much trouble. Like, and
you thought you were in trouble?
Yeah, no, I seriously thought, I was like, maybe, like, I was in the ice when I wasn't supposed to. Maybe I was, like, marking up the ice for the girls. Like, maybe that was it. Or, like, or maybe, like, I was doing something wrong. Or, like, the rink guys got in trouble and it was because of me. I was like, worried. I was like, oh, my God. Like, if I got the rink guys in trouble, I would, like, my heart would sink. Right. So I was just, like, and they were being so nice to me. I'd be so upset. So I was like, all right, like, I was like, hi, like, so nice to meet you guys. Like, I was, like, I was sweating. I'm sweating. And they were like, hey, like, like, we got your email, and they were like, something crazy happened. Like, you emailed us, and maybe 15 minutes later, a girl came into our office from our team, told us that she was going to leave, and she was just a little homesick, and, some other things came up, and it just wasn't the right thing for her. I'm like, all right, like, sounds good. And he's like, like, we do have a strict roster cap as of, this year is the first year. We had to it was instated by NCAA. Like there's a roster cap, and we saw your email, and there's no way that practice players can really be a thing at the D1 level, and or even like extra players or whatever like that. But she did leave the team, and we have to make complete rosters by Friday, and it was Wednesday, and they're like, we called your coach from Loomis, and we know her well, and he's like, I take to heart a lot of things that she says, and she said that you're just an awesome kid and really love the game, and would be a really great player to have in the locker room, and I think that would be a really great addition to our team. What do you think about that? And I was like, I truly started crying. And Coach Byrne was crying too, and I was just like, I have no idea what to say besides yes. And I told him, I was like, you guys have absolutely no idea what this means to me. Like the fact that any of you would take a chance on someone you know nothing about, and someone who you have no idea that really they've never seen me skate besides around the
They saw you skate plenty.
Yeah, I had no idea then, but I was like, you guys have never seen me play or anything like that, and the fact that you would even think to let a club player have this opportunity, I can't even describe it to you. And I told them I've been through hell for 4 years. Like my life without hockey is hell. And it was. And I was just like, I have been through the ringer, and all I've ever wanted is this opportunity, and it was my craziest dream. And the fact that this is happening right now means so much to me, and I'm so grateful. And I said that from the bottom of my heart, and they were like, we can really tell, you're so grateful for this opportunity, it's awesome, and we would love to have you. And I was just like, I could not describe it. I will never be able to live up to that moment in anything I do. But
every single coach has told me, they're like, so I was talking to Byrne the other day, and I told her how I have a couple of buddies from Vermont that I met years ago, but when I first met them, I was like, there's something not right here, because this person's too nice and too good. And I'm like, and this is mass whole brain, right? I'm like, what is this guy up to? But it turns out he's just a genuine nice guy. And she was like, that describes Brigitte. It's like they were Carp has told me how the thank you emails, and Melissa was she was sending me texts thanks for breaking down video, and Melissa's like, that's my job, dude. It's the fact that your appreciation level and your enthusiasm speaks to you as a person, but it fits perfectly with the vibe and the community that they build, because everyone's going to be a good hockey player at D1, but not every program is going to be made up of good people, if that makes sense. And Northeastern, that's always been something that Dave has strived for, and it shows. And Berm told me how that the entire team waited to meet you and escorted you into when you got your locker, and which is not the norm. There was one other woman who did this, who went from, she was a goalie, but she never played, I believe.
Yeah, Kurt told me that.
Yeah. So you're like a unicorn with this whole thing.
No, and Coach Flynn said that. He's like, this doesn't happen. This has never happened. This is D1. This walk-ons aren't a thing. He's like, this is brand new to all of us. And I was like,
and Berm told me she had no idea about the Friday deadline either. That's fate number 2, that it happened that fast. And then you walked in with your Loomis number 3, and that was Guarino's number at Northeastern, which was available, but they were missing one shirt. So how did you decide on number 8?
Yeah, well, in the meeting we did. In the meeting, he said, so number, you want number 3? I was like, you just gave me you're going to give me the number? What is happening right now? He's like, yeah, we might as well. Like, we're already doing this. I'm like,
You're
yeah.
in for a penny, in for a pound, right?
But it ended up being that 8 was Hannah's number, so they already had stuff coming in for her.
Oh, the 4 sets or whatever,
Right, so
right?
they were like, it'd be easier if we just didn't reorder stuff. I'm like, 8 is awesome. Like, if I could think of another better number than 3, it would be 8. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly. It's 2 threes together, like double the luck. But like I was just like anything. So I go into, they're like, all right, like let's get you started. And I'm like, okay. So I have the playbook. I was like, Coach Carp, I will know this playbook like the back of my hand tomorrow. Like I will know it tomorrow. And he was like, all right, like let's go. So I did everything and I got myself signed up and I was just like, what the heck? And I had office hours after, and I like went to office hours after. I was like shaking. Like I called my parents. I was like, we need to have like a group call like now. Like, and I told them, and my mom was crying on the phone, and she was just like, everyone was crying. I never see my dad.
Buddy,
like,
I got all teary-eyed when Byrne was telling me the story about you. I was like,
I
oh my
was
God.
crying too, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, Dad, I'm so sorry. Like, but I think it was just, I was thinking it was just like the story. So it was just like, you know, and I made it. I was like, this is like my Rudy story. Like,
Yeah.
this. I was like, this is like, you know, like my dream just came true. Like, you guys are the reason my dream's coming true. Like, and it was so true. I was just like, you know what, like, and if I think like that, like a lot of the girls I talked to about this after, and like, I was just like, these girls are the nicest people I've ever met in my whole life. If I was them and I have come from, these girls are the best hockey players I've ever seen. And if I was coming from that level of these girls from all over Canada and the U.S., like the best players in the country, and I saw a club player coming onto my team, I'd be like, what the heck are we doing? Like, I would have, I don't know how I would react, but it wouldn't. I think I would have some.
I think you're selling yourself short, bud.
No, I would think I would be very skeptical, and they welcomed me with open arms, all of them.
Everybody knew your story. They all knew you running stairs like a crazy person and everything.
The stairs. Oh my God. The Shan like told me we're so like excited to have you. I'm like, I'm excited to meet you. Like I just like they were so incredibly welcoming to me, and I think I was just like, you know what, like I think I talked to people about it, and they're like, you know, like college hockey, like a lot of players become jaded by this opportunity, like just the fact that like, you know, there's a lot of games and like the opportunities just you get, like, you know, it becomes people get like the redundancy or whatever, like people just get jaded by this whole thing. Just the whole college hockey thing. And like you're a new perspective coming in, just someone that's just like super excited by all the little things. And like that's a great perspective to have on a team.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what, like if that's what I like, that would be the role that I want, is to bring like the spark back for anyone that's missing it. Like just like I have missed this for so long, and now I have it back, and I'm just like ready to go. Like, and that's what I have. It's just like I've missed this for so long. The team aspect, just the being on the ice. I was like, the fact that I was on the ice again was just so exciting to me, and like that spark is just like it is just burning so much, and like I'm just so not jaded by anything, like at all at this level. Like the fact that we like get our skate sharpened by like every practice if you want to, or like, you know, like stuff like that, or like just the fact that like we have like video that you can like ask for yourself. Like I was just like, oh my God, like I can like ask for video. Like so me and Coach Carp, I don't have any film. Like we've been doing film. Like I was like, I can ask Carp to like do film. Like that's awesome. Like and I like our skill sessions. Like I was asking Coach Melissa, like, can we do skills at like 8:00? And she's like, yeah, let's go. I'm like, cool. Like that's awesome. I can just ask you like to do that. And I was like, you know what, like I was just like using all these little opportunities to like my advantage, like everything I could possibly do. Like if I have this opportunity, like let me take it and run with it. Like so all those little things, and like and all the girls were so receptive of me, and I could not have been more grateful. And I told the club girls at the last practice with them, I was like, hey, like I've been given this opportunity, like I'm gonna miss you guys so much, but like thank you for this opportunity for me to be so ready to go to this because of you guys. Like I would not have been at all ready for this opportunity if I had not played the games that I played with the club and done the practice that I did with the club, and done the training that I did during my club time to be ready for this. Because it was a new level. I mean, this level of compete is like nothing else. And I would not have been mentally or physically ready if I had not had that opportunity. But when I went there, I was just like, this is so awesome. Like every practice that we have, it's competition, and I love that. Like you are working for your spot every practice, and that's what I love. Like a lot of programs are not like that, and I've heard that from my teammates. Like things are very set in stone in other programs, and we are not like that at all. Everyone works for their spot every practice, and that's so nice for someone like me. Like, and because it just feels like you always are like some playing for something every practice, and it makes everyone else better around you too.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's competing. Like that level of compete is just so much fun to be a part of. And that's what I love. Like, and it's just, and that's why every practice is so awesome, because it's just like every practice is a game, and it's just like.
Well, shout out to you at your practices. I was at a few at Matthews before it was done, and you're there late. I saw you setting up Quran for one-timers. You were doing one-on-ones with somebody else. Yeah, and I've heard stories about how you and Shan battle in the corners of practice, and you're giving up like a foot and a half to Tristan.
Oh my god, me and Tristan! Oh my god, that was the craziest experience of my life. The first person I go up to for practice, it was me and Tristan. I'm like, we do like this like in circle one-on-one, and then like one person goes single and one person goes down for a one-on-one. And I went on with her first, and I was like, this is so insane. She was huge. My stick was like literally half the size of hers. This is crazy. And I had so much fun though. I was just like, you are awesome to play against. Like
she's so like a foot taller than you. Literally. Not no exaggeration.
I had no idea. And I had no idea we were in the same grade too. I was like, you're a sophomore. Like I like literally couldn't imagine, but I'm like it was such an overall experience. It was just even like practicing against Shan. I was like, I can't even put into words with that. But I was just like, but I met Elo. I was like giving one time to Elo, and like I just for like someone who literally has earned every award I think I've ever heard of. Like I was just having so much fun with it. Like it was just like, but the extra ice time, I was like, now I can like actually like stay on the ice without being in trouble. And I talked to the rink guys, and I was just like, hey, like, I'm going to go on there. Like, you're allowed to do that now. Like, we don't have to make excuses for you. Like, you can just go on. I'm like, cool. Like, he's like, this is, like, actually your ice now. So, like, you take it. I'm like, cool.
I have a couple of things I want to ask about, because I'm afraid I don't want to forget them. Did you go to the Beanpot last year as a fan?
I did.
So now you got to play in it. You were out there for warm-ups and, like, please talk about that. To go from in the stands to on the ice.
It was, my freshman year, I watched every home game, and I sat in the same spot, and I had so much fun watching. And
wait, where'd you sit? Now I'm curious. Where did you sit?
I sat at the section. It was so like you have like the box, like the varsity box.
Yep.
And I sat to the left of it, so like towards like the hockey operations office, I believe that is.
Yep.
Over there. So I had a good view of our bench, and I love seeing like everyone like just the stuff that they do pregame, like the way that they're like everyone's always so. The one thing I love about our bench is that everyone is so hyped. Like everyone is always screaming. Our bench is so loud. And I love that. I just saw the girls even from where I was sitting, like just screaming. Like I love the passion that they have.
So supportive, banging the sticks. Yeah.
During the game, like just the passion that they all have, or just smiling. Like that's one
dancing.
thing.
The dancing is. I'm like, you guys are top in the country, and there'll be a song they like during a TV timeout. There's like 5
the TV timeouts. I had so much fun. Just like everyone was just having so much fun on the bench, especially like, their goalies. I didn't get to meet a couple of them, but just the goalies too. Like watching them, like they were singing, whatever, having fun. I've seen Tina. I knew Tina from every time I saw Tina like walking around campus. I would just be like starstruck, like oh my god, that's Tina. And I saw her on the ice. I was just like, oh my god, she's having so much fun. Like that's awesome. And like, I would just see all of them, and like coaches were laughing, and like like stuff like that. Just like it's just such a cool thing. I was like, oh, like it kills you inside. And I was just like, like at least I'm here watching. But I would watch every home game, and a lot of our club teammates would watch too. So we would just kind of have that section, and I would love it. And my first game, like I just remember at Matthews, like I was looking up at that section. I'm like you made it happen. Like that's awesome.
You did.
Good on you, kid. Like you made it happen. Like good for you. Like And in my wildest dreams, like I never would have imagined that this would happen. Like, and neither of my parents. Like, I just saw them in the stands. I was like, I think I made you guys proud. Like, and if anything else, like, and if anything else, not the fact that this actually did happen, but the fact that like I didn't give up on it. Like, I think that that's what they were most proud of. Like, whether this happened or not was really out of my control. Like, whether a girl left and there was a spot for me, like that was far out of my control. But the fact that like I really didn't give up on this, like they were proud of that. Like, and this, I had a dream and I did not let my circumstances get in the way of that. And I have
You should be a motivational speaker.
a
When
very
this is all said and done, you should tour high schools telling people their story. It's like inspiring.
I'm super motivated, and like I have this like really really deep passion for what I do. Like whether it's like school or hockey or whatever it is, like I'm really passionate about what I do, and I take a lot of pride in the way that I execute and just the way that I think I was just proud of myself that I didn't let this win, and that was really important to me. And I had this dream, and I was like, I will not leave this school until I do everything I possibly can to make this happen. Like, I want this so bad. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, make it happen. So
there it is. Your dialed in face again. You got it going right now.
And then walking like last game at Matthews, like Coach Flint was just like, I like like I asked, and everyone's dressing tonight, and I was just like, everyone's dressing tonight. Like I'm going. And I put that jersey on. I was like, I told Eric, I was like, dust off that jersey, man. Like I'm putting it on. And he was so excited for me, and everyone was so excited for me just to wear that jersey. I had so much family in the stands just watching, and for once I was so excited to be there, and even for Beanpot, just like that experience, like there's nothing like a Beanpot, like, and that's the reason why I wanted to come here. Like I'd seen every Beanpot since I don't know how long, like from the stands, and it was just like such an opportunity. I watched Lily give that speech, at the last Beanpot game at TD, and I had seen Taze raise it up and put this up. Like, come on, you got it. Like, there's nothing like that. The team that they built, and like, props to everything to Coach Flint for the team that he's created. Like, you bring he knows exactly who's on his team in every regard. The people that he has, the players and the people. Like, he knows exactly. All of the coaches know who they have on that team, and they know how to exploit everyone's littlest details to the highest degree. Like, and you can see that. And I was just like, the fact that they see anything in me, that I have any detail that they would want, just meant anything and everything to me. Like, that I had any detail in me that could be exploited and make their program like the caliber that it is. I was just like, that's awesome. And I'm just so grateful for that. And the Beanpot was just the coolest experience of my life. And the dream would be to, that's the next dream. This one got achieved, and the next one is to like be impacted in the Beanpot, be impacted in the games to come. Like, that's what I'm working for, and that's what I'm working towards. And I'm excited for that next dream and to grind for that. But
Carp told me he shut the gate on you when you got in when you got on the ice was that against Maine? Was it Maine game with the Maine game? Because I noticed I was at that game. I think was that here, or maybe I was watching, but I noticed you had like a 2.5-minute shift at the end of the game, and I was texting with him, and I go, yes, she was out there a bit. He goes, yeah, I locked the gate. He goes, yeah, she wasn't coming off. So, I mean, they're pulling for you, dude. And everyone that I've talked to about you has, and that goes for Delaney, everyone. Your attitude, it's infectious. Your drive, it pushes everybody. So that's like you talked about, contributing in different ways. Berm told me that I got to be careful how I say this. You really use your notebook, and it's a good example for those that maybe aren't as diligent. I think I won't get in trouble for that. But that, all that kind of stuff, everybody pulling the rope, it's all part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I realized midway through the season that the notebook was downloadable. So on my iPad, I have the team notebook. So when I'm in class, I can like not look like I'm not doing work, but I'm like looking through stuff and like whatever. But it's out of my wildest dreams. But Like
That's awesome, dude.
I'm having the time of my life. The time
Yeah,
of my life.
enjoy it, embrace it.
In every way. And like I just so excited to be a part of this team. Like I love these people. I love this team. Like the coaches are like absolutely incredible. And I could not imagine a better coaching staff than this one. Like it's just like I meet them and at practice I have so much fun. Like and I got out for the shift at Maine. At the shifts at Maine, I came off the ice and I just saw coach and I was just like, that was so much fun. I said that verbatim. I was like, I just had so much fun out there. Like I blocked a shot and everyone went crazy on the bench. And I was just like, I would do that again. Like I had so much fun and my mom was like crying in the stands. Like I came up to her and like she was already sobbing when I came up there and she was just like, I'm so happy that like you just did that. Like I just and she made me want to cry. And I was just like, I've made myself, I think, really proud. The way that I've made this happen and just put everything I had out there, like, and I really did the no regrets thing that I told myself I would do, and I think that's like the main thing is that like like this is all I've ever wanted, and my parents know that, and everyone I know has done that, and a lot of people were felt bad for me that this was not going to happen because of the surgeries and everything, and it was so much of like it's shame, and I would really hate to live the rest of my life being like you know what, like
I could have or I should have.
Exactly. Like what, maybe if you send another email, like this happened, like those are tough regrets to live with, and I wasn't prepared for that at all. And I was like, what, like exhaust everything, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but exhaust everything, and you know what your limits are. Like you find them and you figure it out, and I hadn't exhausted limits yet, and I had more to give, and I'm excited for just the rest of my time, and what I can say is now a career. I'd like to say that.
Yeah.
But I'm just so excited for everything that's going to come out of this, and I'm grateful for the past, but excited about the future. And
I feel like your story's so great, you're so inspirational that I feel so stupid now with these like dumb lightning round questions. Like we're talking about big serious things. Like you're a role model.
I can talk about hockey all day long, and I can talk about it all day long.
You're a great role model for young players, young people, not even hockey players, because there's challenges and obstacles in every facet of life, not only for athletes. And it's an inspirational story. It's a role model story. Now how you were like, oh, that's Christina Allard. There's people saying that about you. You know what I mean? And there's people in the press box that I've talked to and they're like, you're going to be talking to her? I want to introduce myself. Then go introduce yourself. You know what I mean? And it's an inspiring story. I can't wait for the movie. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully this interview, maybe
parents text me, they were like, in our family group chat, my parents said what happened. They're like, Brigitte is the first walk-on to ever join and everyone was like, oh my God, like it's history, whatever. And I'm like, you know what, like the fact that like this could have even happened. The one crazy thing about this, I will just interject this one little fact, is that I at one of my I skated whatever, and sometimes I would skate in the afternoon on the weekends. Before this happened, so the rink guys let me on the weekends because sometimes Sunday games or whatever, like people would have off days, and on Sundays usually, and Coach Keith was usually around the rink around that time, and one day I was skating and this guy came on the ice, and I was just like, I wonder, I knew who he was, but I didn't want to be starstruck. I was like, oh, he was like, I was sorry to bother you. I just want to introduce myself. Like, my name's Coach Keith. I coach the men's team. I'm like, I don't know exactly who you are. I'm like, oh, very nice to meet you. It's not like I know exactly who you are. And he was like, I just want to say, I see you here all the time, and I think it's so awesome that you are here and so dedicated. I can just tell that you just love this game. I think it's so refreshing to have someone like that just has a really pure passion for this, and it's awesome to see you out here. I love to give you a pair of Husky gloves, and everything. So I was like, what? She's like, let me just go and like get, a pair. He gives me a pair of gloves, which I still have, and I was just like, oh my God, like I cannot believe that just happened. I was like, you know what, like thank you so much, like, and I was just like, it was so awesome to meet you, and that afternoon I emailed him and I was like, it was so awesome to meet you, Coach. Thank you so much for the gloves, but like just coming from your opinion, like you've been doing this a long time at the college level, like what do you think the chances are of someone trying to walk on to a team or like things like that? He's like, if I'm gonna be so honest, like like I'm not exactly sure what it looks like for the women's team. Like I could give them a shout for you, but like this really like it in the D1 level, like walk-ons really aren't a thing, especially for hockey. Like it's just with the roster sizes and things like that. Like it really doesn't happen, and like we've never really seen it. And like I even once last summer, actually the summer before this happened, I was at a beach in Rhode Island, and I met Jim Madigan. Because he thought I was wearing a Husky hat. He's like, "Go Huskies!" And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Jim Madigan." And I talked to him about this, and he was like, "Good luck with your club season." My dad and I had a conversation with him, and I emailed him after too, and I was like, "Hey, like, coming from your expert opinion, like, what do you think of the chances of this?" And he was like, he's like, it's like it's a shame, like, really, this isn't a thing at this level, like, there just isn't room for it. But enjoy your club season. And I was just like, you know what, like, two people have told you, Bridge, like at this point, like, this really isn't gonna happen. And it was just like, but like even Coach Keefe was just like, try it, like, send an email, do it. And I was just like, you know what, like, why not? Like, and people really like they'll give you like a kick if you like really want this. Like, no one's gonna shut you down. Like, just go for it. Like, and even like my mom didn't want to give me these unrealistic expectations, and neither did my dad. But like my mom was just like, like, just enjoy school. Like, enjoy school and enjoy that part.
This is how you enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, well, Mom, I enjoy it at Matthews. Like, that's how I'm going to enjoy it. And she's like, you know what? Like, and I'm not a partier, like, as you could probably tell. Like, I don't enjoy that kind of stuff. And like, that's not how I get my fix of like, enjoying college, like the college experience. Like, that's just not who I am. And that, like, I'm like, this is my college experience. Like, going to Matthews at 6:00, that's my college experience. Like, that's what I want to do. And like, that's how I live with no regrets, is doing that stuff. And I'm like, you know what, like this is what I want, and like, if this is what you want, you're gonna make it happen. And my dad was like, you know what, just send me emails. I'm like, thanks. So like I got so many people behind me, my siblings too, and everyone. They were so excited for me, like my siblings, because they knew what I'd been through, and they knew how sad I was at Loomis. Right, and just how devastated I was at Loomis, that like I was going into college like without something like this set up. Like, I was just like, they knew how upset I was, and the fact that this did end up happening, and everyone was just kind of like, what the hell, like, happened? Like, Bridge, we sent you there, and a month later you somehow did this. And I was like, I did it. Like, I tried, and but everyone was very happy, and I have just the most incredible support system, because not everyone has your best interests in heart, and a lot of my family does. My whole family does, and I'm beyond grateful that these coaches have, and they have my best interests in all regards, and my high school coach and my club coaches and everyone, they've all had my best interest throughout this entire process, and they had hope in a kid that had a lot of bad cards dealt, and I couldn't be more grateful, and I'm very lucky.
I just can't wait to see you score your first goal. All right, let's do the quick hits and then the lightning. You ready? The quick hits are about the team.
Okay.
Who's the best dressed on the team? Game day champ. Game day. Yeah, I knew it was going to be crazy. Everybody. Who's the biggest on ice chirper on the team?
Oof. Chirper. Jules can throw a couple.
I was going to say, yeah. Is there someone like in a tense moment that is like, well, I had my guy? You know what I mean? Someone who keeps the team loose, like the little joke or.
Ooh. Ella Lloyd has been throwing these jokes lately. Yeah.
All right. That's first one. That's the first time I've heard her, and that's great.
Yeah.
Who's the best skater, in your opinion?
Oof. You know what? I'm gonna say striker.
Yeah, tough to argue. Did you see her
Yeah.
explode away from on that
Um,
empty net goal? Even an
oh
empty
my-
net goal she makes look scary.
when I skated with her the first time. I was like, I'm gonna. I
Gotta get some of those skates.
I learn a lot just from watching her. It's just unreal.
Who would you say the best hands?
Best hands, Ela
Yeah. Uh,
or Morgan
any
Jackson.
or who?
Morgan
Oh,
Jackson.
Morgan Jackson. Yeah. She hit the post in that one last night. That was tough. Any pregame rituals, superstitions that you want to share, or anyone on the team that you want to out with crazy ones?
I think me and Tina have a cool one that we've had for a little bit. It's like a handshake and then like a hip thing.
Nice.
But a lot of us have some cool ones. I know that Elo and Boggs have a cool one I've seen as I walk past them. Elo, Boggs, and Morgs, I think, have
Okay.
one. I know that like Elo has a couple of funny ones.
All right, don't get yourself in trouble with her.
No, I'll say she has a couple. But yeah, honestly, I walk the tunnel is one of my favorite places because it's just like the pregame rituals. I never in high school you don't really do that kind of stuff. But this was like my first time seeing that, and I was just like, oh my god, like it's so everyone has their things. Everyone's so excited, and that just like energy from everyone before.
Kids hanging over and stuff.
Our video, oh my god, our video. Like if I could play that before every test I take, I think I would get an A+. Like it gets me so hyped. Like that our intro video, like it's so awesome. Like every time I watch it, I'm just like starstruck. Like I'm like, oh my god, I just feel so much
hurt now, buddy. You're there. That's it.
So much pride watching that video. It's just like it's so exciting. But yeah, the tunnel is just such an awesome place to be.
One person on the squad that you need, middle of the night, your car broke down in Cambridge, you're stranded. Who you calling to come help you?
Tina.
Oh yeah, okay. And then I ask every Husky player this: you and Coach Carp go in the corner for a loose puck. Who's coming out with it?
Carp's got hands. I'll tell you that much.
Don't give him credit.
No, I'm not. I swear, he runs forward skills and even at goalie worlds that we do, it's like our little goalie thing that we have. He shoots on Lisa and I don't know. He scores. He's got some good shots. I'd say even some good hands. Like he's had some good.
So who's coming out with the puck between you and him fighting in the corner?
I'd say honestly, I got a lot of passion. I'm gonna give me a chance.
Nice.
I'll say me.
Good. Even Alina was like me, like the nicest person in the world, right? So you gotta give yourself that props.
Meeting her was the coolest thing I've ever done. I think I saw her. I met her at Matthews, and I saw her at TV for the Beanpot. She's like, "Hey," yeah. I'm like, "You remember?" I had no idea, but she was so awesome. I think she's the coolest person ever.
All right, so these are now you. You ready? Lightning round. Favorite cartoon character?
Bugs Bunny.
Okay. Well, do you tape your stick heel to toe or toe to heel, and you use black or white tape?
Heel to toe and white tape.
Do you use the thin or the thick?
Thin.
Okay. Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
100 duck-sized horses. I believe in the small ones. 5 to 2. Yeah.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Every language in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to be able to talk to Elo in French fluently.
Oh, that's a good one. Brazis, when I asked her this at the golf tournament a couple of years ago, she goes, "I want to hear if my dog has an accent." It's the funniest answer ever.
I love Lily's accent so much.
Oh God. Besides hockey, what pro sport would you pick to be successful at?
That's a good question. I'd say maybe soccer. Soccer has been doing really awesome.
Yeah. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose?
Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. I love the there. It's good.
Start, bench, or cut? Sushi, ice cream, pizza.
Ooh. Sushi, start. I love sushi.
Okay.
cut, pizza, bench ice cream.
Okay. One of my daughter's favorite things when she's 9, when we go to Matthews, is we would go to Symphony Sushi ahead of the game and then go to the game. And she loves it.
Very good.
What pro player do you most look to as a comparison to how you play?
I'd like to say, I don't know. I'm gonna go for like the small but mighty. I love the tenacity of Kendall Coyne. Not saying that I am Kendall Coyne at all, but I love her tenacity. I think she's like a really like headstrong player, and she grinds. And I hope that I would do the same thing.
Good one. Do you prefer cats or dogs?
Dogs.
All right. Because you said dogs, I would like you to compare your coaches to different breeds of dogs.
Oh my God! You can't ask me to do this. Oh.
No, you don't want to. You don't have to.
No, I'd say they're all like, strong-headed and resilient. Let's say that.
All right, that's fine. I'm not going to paint you on the corner there. Favorite and least favorite rinks you've played at, but you can't use Matthews.
That's good. Okay, I would say that I've played at
or been on, whatever,
I'd say that. Okay. I would say that I'm gonna say been to.
Okay.
I've been Michigan, coolest rink ever.
Yost, right? You're talking about?
Yes.
Yep.
I think that's such a cool rink, and
it is very cool. It's like a cathedral with the window.
I just love how it's built. I think it's so awesome. I would say that after that, I think that UConn's rink is very beautiful. I think it's like it's super well made. I think, and like it's cool. That was really cool to like be in. And
gotta be a bad one now.
Yeah.
Not bad, just not your favorite.
Maine's structured a little weird. Yeah.
Stairs.
Yeah, the stairs were a little weird. The girls were like.
Maine's mentioned quite a bit with this question.
Yeah.
You have your own music festival, okay? 3 musical artists, living or dead. Who you got?
Good one. I like the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah. Eagles. I my genres are very mixed.
All right.
For rap, I'll take honestly J. Cole. I love J. Cole.
Okay.
And country, like Chris Stapleton.
I like how you're filling like everybody's.
Yeah.
Nice. Good festival. And then the last question: the most famous person on your phone. In your phone. How long? I don't know why.
Famous person on my phone.
You're in the club now. You must have someone.
I would like to say Coach Flint.
Okay. Good. And then Linda, my co-host, is not here. She likes to ask this one at the very end. For glass breakers, right? Pioneers, whatever. People that you look up to, people that you are like, wow. Who do you think we should have on the podcast? Give me 3.
I would say. I would say, honestly, talking to Shan, I think we should have Shan. I she is so much to her story that even I'm still learning about. Just the way that she's come up through the program, I think there's so much to it, and she has so much of just like passion and love for this team. Her, I think that Tina has incredible story and the most genuine passion for Northeastern hockey I think I've ever seen, and I hope that I have the same passion for it, or exemplify the same passion that she does. And I think another one is
Doesn't have to be Huskies. Could be anybody.
No. There's- I think. I would like to see, if we could make it happen. I'd like to see Taylor Heisey on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I would so.
I love her. I think she's so awesome.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, she's on our list. I'm sure we have a master list somewhere that we all add to. Well, I want to thank you for doing that.
Keeping Caroline Harvey. I'm having so much fun watching her.
Yeah, she's so good.
She's so awesome.
I want to thank you for doing this. I appreciate we went over. I apologize for that. Thank you. You got 3 games left. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to release this, but you guys, everyone out there listening who was going to the game, who's watching the games, everybody's got to be cheering on number 8. I mean, grade 8. You got to. Thanks so much for this. Your story, like I said, it's like a Disney movie. I can't wait to see the movie when it's finally made or read the book, and you could maybe have each one of those emails from someone telling you that it probably doesn't happen as like the beginning of a chapter. That'd be kind of cool to do it like that, use that motivation. But all the best of luck to you. I can't wait to cheer for you when you score that first NCAA goal. It's going to be awesome. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me. This is an incredible podcast. I love what you're doing for.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. All right. Well, that's it for us for this episode. We'll see you soon with our normal weekly roundups and more interviews to come. So thanks for listening.
Go Huskies.
That's it.